Today we will create this photo manipulation. So let's start. Hey guys, it's Nemanja and welcome to another really fun episode. Today we will have a lot of fun creating this really cool and interesting photo manipulation where the girl is blown by a strong wind. And actually I got inspired for this photo manipulation by seeing tons of photos online, especially on Instagram, where the man is holding a woman and she is like showing him a lot of beautiful destinations. So this is inspired by that, but completely with a twist where actually there is like a huge wind, strong wind is blowing, and the man is holding the woman not to fly away, and the destination is nothing special, just some kind of a street. So without further ado, let's jump straight into Photoshop and let the fun begin. Alright guys, we are here in Photoshop and I will start with this photo. In case you're wondering, this is 2000 by 2500 pixels, so it's basically 4:5 aspect ratio. It's meant for Instagram, so this is why I like to crop like that. So this is our base, our background, and also we will use just few more images. These papers, the girl that I already extracted, and these papers here. So let me just really quickly show you this. As you can see, I took this photo of my friend Milena here in my studio, and also as you can see, this is not quite comfortable position, but we made to get a proper shot. And then I just choose one of the photos, went in the Photoshop, selected, extracted Milena out of the background, and this is the photo that we will deal with today. I did the extraction process before making this tutorial because I want to save the time for this tutorial. I don't want to waste your time watching me doing all the extraction process. If you're not familiar how to select anything and later extract it in Photoshop, I have full tutorial dedicated to that. You can watch it on a link right there. Okay, now let's go back to Photoshop and let's start with combining all these photos into one photo. So this is the background, as I already said. And first thing that I like to do, I like to go to copy the model and just paste it here on the background. The model is a little bit bigger, so I will press Ctrl or Command T and make it smaller. But because I'm not sure how small or big I want her to be, I will cancel this by pressing Escape. And before I transform her, I make her smaller, I will go and change this layer, convert it into Smart Object. By converting into Smart Object, I will have possibility to make it smaller and bigger as many times as I want without losing an image quality. So just right click, convert to Smart Object, and you're ready to go. I will name this model. Okay, this is background. Street. Okay, and this is it. So now I will press Ctrl or Command T and just, let me see, I will put it somewhere here and probably something like this. Of course, you can always make it a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, etc. But this is quite good. Okay, and also I will zoom it to see. You can see this part is missing, so I can just move it a little bit down or just clone this part. But for me, it's easier just to move it a little bit down. And this is almost it. Except it's not at all, because now we need to match the contrast, we need to match the colors, and we need to do some dodging and burning, etc. So, and a lot of small tweakings that you will see. I think you will love it. So now let's go and match the contrast between the girl and the background. Now you have basically two decisions. You need to decide if you want to match the background to the girl or girl to the background. Let me show you what I mean by that. Because we are now playing just with the contrast, I don't want to go into the colors. I will go and set black and white adjustment layer. This is a really cool trick because you can sometimes be fooled by the color and you will miss the contrast. So I like to set everything to black and white and then match the contrast. As you can see here, the background is a little bit more washed out comparing to the girl. The blacks on the girl are really nice and strong, and the blacks on the background a little bit washed out. So if you want to match the girl to fit the background, you need, for example, to go with the curves adjustment layer, clip it to affect only the model layer, and now you need to make blacks a little bit brighter to make them washed out. So how to do that? Just click on the middle and click here on the lower fourth, and with this black dot just go a little bit up. As you can see, now she becomes a little bit more washed out. Actually the blacks are a little bit washed out, and maybe you want to make everything brighter, and this is cool. So this is much better than this. Now definitely This is not a match, but this is much better, maybe a little bit less, but we are here really close. So we can now hide black and white adjustment layer. As you can see, this is really cool considering the contrast. Now the tonality, the colors are not good. We will fix that too. So this is one option. Another way is to match the background to fit the girl. So how to do that? Let's hide the first one. Let's go back to black and white adjustment layer and add a new curves adjustment layer to the background. And now do the opposite. Now make the backgrounds black more black. Opposite of washed out. So as you can see here on the histogram, we have some small gap right there, and that means that the blacks are not completely black. So what you need to do is just to move this slider to the right where the histogram starts basically, and then your blacks will be really black. And this is it. This is another version. So let's hide black and white adjustment layer. As you can see, this is another way to do it. So it's completely up to you, whatever you want to do, whatever you feel that is working better for you, but I'm showing you two ways how you can match foreground and background together. I will now probably go with this look, completely optional. It doesn't matter because this is just for me showing you tips, tricks and techniques how to do this kind of stuff, but you can do opposite, you can do whatever you want. So let's go back and now let's match the colors. I will now remove these layers because I don't need them anymore. And I will go with, this time I will go probably with color balance. Why not? Let's choose some other tools than something that we use regularly. So color balance is cool. And what we need to do, if we compare background and foreground elements, you can see that the background is much more bluish and magenta type. It's colder and she has a lot of yellow tint in it. So we need to make her a little bit more cooler, to add a little bit more bluish and maybe some reddish magenta tint, we will see. In case you're wondering how to properly match foreground and background to fit really nicely together, I have a full tutorial dedicated just on that. You can find it on a link right here. There you can see really cool technique that will help you to match the colors as close as you can, in case you don't want to trust your eyes and instinct like I will do today. So you can go and do that way. But today I will do a little bit differently. I will trust my eyes, so let's go back and do it. Okay, so what I need to do, I want to clip the color balance layer to affect only the model, and now I need to change some colors. So let's start with the shadows and let's add some blue tone to the shadows, blue and a little bit of cyan. As you can see, it's already much better. Also, now let's go to the midtones and do exactly the same, but with different values, probably something like that, and also highlights a little bit of that, and this is cool. Also guys, I have one really big disadvantage here, and that's this huge octabox that is lit in this scene, so I cannot see the colors 100% properly, but I will do my best. For this tutorial I think this is okay, so probably I need to watch like that. So okay, so let me see. This looks cool. Maybe shadows, something like that, and let me see highlights if I add a little bit magenta or just a touch like that. And now let me see before and after. Before, totally off. After, this is something that now looks really nice. We can match it even better if we tried, but for now let's leave it like that, and with the final color correction we will blend everything to fit nicely together. Okay, the next step is to add some flying newspapers in the scene to get that feeling of the wind is blowing really high. So let's do that. Let's go and add some papers. I already extracted them, as you can see, to save the time for this tutorial. And let's just paste it here. There are a bunch of papers, and let me see, let's put it here. But because they're going more towards this way, I will try to change the direction by going to transform tool, press Ctrl or Command T, and just holding Ctrl, I will just move this handle like that, and that looks cool. For now, I will press OK and move. I will first rename papers number 1, because I will have 2 layers, you will see, and move it down below the model. So this is cool. It's behind the model, and maybe I can make them maybe smaller. I don't know. Why not? You can do whatever you want. As you can see, the papers are ready with the shadows, so I really like that. And let me show really cool way how you can extract everything and keep the shadows. So in case you have everything not extracted like that, and you want to keep everything with the shadows, they're really cool tricks. So I will just go with one paper. I will not go with that. So let's use maybe quick selection tool. Just go right there and quickly select everything. So this is like we already selected. We need to have two extraction, one of all the papers. So I will press Ctrl or Command J. So I have this paper separated, extracted. It's really quick. So you can see it's not so good. And then what I need to do, let's move it back. I need to use the lasso tool and just grab this shadow right there, okay? And extract the shadow too. So we have extraction of the papers and the shadows. And now we can just put the shadow into multiple blending mode. And there it is. Oops. There it is. We can move the shadow with the paper. So it's really easy and practically fast way to do it. I already did it before this tutorial, so this is it. And now we need to change the color of the papers. So this is really simple as we did with the model. So I will just go delete this one, go with the color balance adjustment layer, clip to affect only the papers, and do the same midtones towards the blue and cyan, and also shadows towards the blue, cyan, maybe a little bit of magenta. So highlights again, and this looks really cool. So before too warm, now it's much better. Now let's go and add another bunch of papers. So I already extracted it again, same procedure, and I will place them above the model. Okay, there are a bunch of papers right there, and probably, let me see, I will make them smaller. Control T or Command T, make it smaller, like that probably. Okay, and now you need to decide where the papers want to be. Also, you can just go with the lasso tool and select one of the papers. You can go to layer, new layer via cut, or just press Shift Control J or Shift Command J on the Mac. And now you have this one on a new layer. So I will use this one, I will rotate like that probably, and put it here on the hair just to cover imperfection of the hair. When I extract it, you can see it's not quite good, so I will cover with this, and we are ready to go. And this is one really cool messed up scene, a lot of wind is blowing so high. Now we need to match the colors of these papers too, so I will select both of them, press Ctrl or Command G to make a group out of it, and name the group papers number 2. And then by holding Alt or Option key on a Mac, just make a copy of this color balance adjustment layer, drag it all above it, and clip it to affect only that layer. So before and after, really cool. And guys, we are almost there. If you don't like this big paper, you can just go back in the group, just right there, and select only this one. So this is it. Press Shift Control J or Shift Command J to make sure that you're on a proper layer, like that. And then you can move it wherever you want. Maybe you can get rid of it. Maybe it's too much for you. Maybe you want to make it smaller. Maybe you want to put it somewhere there, etc. So whatever you want, this is the beauty of photo manipulations. You can do however you want, multiple things. So I'll leave it right there, or I want to get rid of it. I'm not sure. So maybe in this situation, I will just get rid of it. I have some papers here and there, and that's enough. Okay, now what we need to do is to do some dodging and burning, merging everything together into one layer, doing a final color correction, and that's it. Fast and easy. So let's do it. Let's go, and first I want to create a group for the model. So Control or Command G, name it model. And then I will go inside the group, create curves adjustment layer. One is for dodge, clip it to affect only the girl. In case you're not familiar how to do dodging and burning, I have full tutorial dedicated on that, so you can watch it on the link right there. I will just go here through that. I will not explain every step. So I will invert the mask, Control or Command I, then do the same for burn, clip to affect only the girl, invert the mask, Control Command I, and I will name this D for dodge, B for burn, and then I will use really soft round brush, 0% hardness, and maybe just 5% opacity, and play with this. So first with the dodge, I just want to make some things brighter, just a little bit. Okay, with make sure to have white color, so like that. And just some things brighter here and there. Okay. And then I will go with the burn and make some parts even darker. Like this is in the shadow, and probably this, because of umbrella, will be more in the shadow a little bit. So this is how it looks. This is a quick process. You need to spend a little bit more time tweaking this a little bit better, but for the sake of this tutorial, this is cool. So let me show you just really quickly before and after, just adding a little bit more, shaping the lights, shaping how the light is falling on the model. So maybe a little bit more dodging here, actually burning here and there, and that's it. Also, we can do the same with the papers. So let's go to these papers. I want to make them darker on some places, so I will make dark curve like that, invert the mask, also bring back the color balance, and now I will just paint on some papers to add the darkness, especially this one that is going under her will be darker. Okay, that's cool. Maybe down part of this. Let me see which papers are on this layer. So that's cool. Maybe here. And this is cool. And we can do the same for the background paper. I will not do this in this tutorial just to save a little bit of time for that, but it's same procedure. Just go and tweak, dodge and burn some papers if you're up to it. Just at least down parts, because there will be darker. And also now what we can do, we can go and add some colors to the papers too. So I will go and add a new layer, name color, and I will just, with the brush, I will press and hold Alt or Option key and choose this color, and I will just colorize this paper right here, because it will have some kind of color from the neon lights. So it's in this part, just to make this a little bit more blended. And now I will go and put it in a color blending mode. Also, I will go with the eraser, and this part actually down below will not be so affected, so I'll just erase it. And this looks cool. Maybe, oops, this is too much. Maybe 3% opacity, and just add some kind of colors here and there. And also I want to delete this, and this is cool. So just a small, maybe if this is too strong for your taste, you can just lower the opacity and have a really nice effect here and there. You can also go with maybe umbrella if you want to add some kind of neon light color to the umbrella. If not, you can leave it like that. That's completely up to you. And this is almost it. Now let me show you a few optional steps in case you want to add them to this kind of photos. We will add the rain, we will add some wet floor, some reflections from the buildings, etc. So this is really cool. This is completely optional, but I will show how you can do it. Okay, let's first create some reflections of these buildings down on the floor, and to make impression that the floor is wet, there are some puddles, etc. So to do that, there's one really cool and easy trick. You need to duplicate the background, so let's just expand this a little bit. Go to the street, make a copy by pressing Ctrl or Command J, then Ctrl or Command T to enter transform tool, right click, flip vertical, and just move it down below. To see where you're moving this, just lower the opacity somewhere around 50 or so %. Okay, and now you can see where this building is positioning. So I want to fit this corner here, and to move this one by holding Ctrl or Command key to move it like that. And this is really cool reflection. I will press OK, and then I will add a layer mask, go to 100% with this, and paint with the black soft round brush, 100% opacity, and just remove all of this. I don't want this at all. Okay, I just want this part of reflection. So even here I don't want to have reflection. Let me see, this is really nice and cool. Maybe I want to have it here, but not here. Okay, so now it's like a mirror, so we don't want the mirror type, like this is full of water, we don't want that. Now what we need to do we need to make some random puddles on the street. So how to do that? With a layer mask, but with a layer mask that we will create out of the cloud filter. So to do that, let's go all the way up right here and create a new layer and reset the colors to default by pressing D on the keyboard, then go to filter, render, clouds. So you need to have black and white colors to be able to see black and white clouds. And now just by going to the channels, you want to see only the clouds, so make sure that the cloud layer is the toppest one. So go to the channel, press and hold Control or Command key on a Mac and click on RGB channel to load this as a selection. Then you can hide this. You can go back down and create a group out of the street copy layer. So just press Control or Command G. And now by group is selected, while the group is selected, you need to just click on the layer mask and that's it. So you have a really nice effect. And also now you can use levels to adjust this even better. So now while the mask is selected, I will press Control or Command L and just play with the effects. As you can see, this is where some reflections will be visible. So this is really cool. Also what I can do, I can unlink the group and the mask and I can move this and I can decide where those puddles will be visible. So maybe down, maybe here, maybe, I don't know. This is really, really cool. So we have some puddles and also I can lower the opacity. So this is really cool, subtle effect and really cool way to make some kind of realistic reflections from the buildings, like it will be rain here, etc. So another step is optionally to add the rain here. I don't want to go to whole process how to add rains in the photos. I have full tutorial dedicated to custom rain brush and how to create rain, so you can find it on the link right there. I will just go really quickly through that. I will go all the way at the top. First I will delete this cloud layer, I don't need it. Create a new layer and just go with the brush and choose my custom rain brush. I have 10 different custom rain brushes. In case you don't know how to make them, it's on that tutorial that you saw the link before. Also, you can go to my website and purchase this set of brushes for just $1, so it's your choice. I'll just use some of them. Let me see. I need white color, so this is cool to make rain. I will just rotate this. I want to be in this direction, that's cool, and just paint the rain right there. Then I can go to filter, blur, motion blur and just blur this a little bit like that, and then I can add another layer of the rain and like more towards the camera with a little bit more blur, more away from camera, behind the model, smaller rain, etc., like I did in that tutorial with the rain. But that's another option. So in this case I will not go with the rain, I will just leave those puddles here. That's really cool. And now what I like to do is just to merge everything together and play with the final color correction. So to merge everything together, you need to press Shift Control Alt E or Shift Command Option E on a Mac. Now you have everything in a new layer. And now I will go with the filter, camera raw and play with that. So right here, I will add a little bit contrast, open shadows, add some clarity. I can choose if I want to dehaze it a little bit. Why not? Or actually not dehaze it, to add a haze or dehaze it. It's completely your choice. I can go and add some vignetting, a little bit, not too much, okay. And also I can sharpen this a little bit. So by holding Alt or Option key and moving the mask, you can see what it will be sharpened. Everything what is white will be sharpened, everything what is black will be intact. So this is cool. And also I can go here and add some bluish tint to the shadows, maybe more magenta, bluish like that, and move this to the right to affect only the deepest shadows. And we can add some yellowish or any kind of tint to the highlights, but no, I will not do that right now. So this is really cool way. Maybe I will lower the saturation like this and I will press OK. So this is first steps before and after. I really like it. Another optional thing is that you can just duplicate this layer by pressing Ctrl Command J, go to filter, then go to blur and then go to radial blur and choose not spin but zoom. And you need to move this to see how it will affect your image. So for example, if it's on the middle and you press OK, you will see actually the value is low, so maybe 15. you will see that it's not so good. It's more to the right. The center of the zoom needs to be a little bit to the left, so you need to undo it. Go to filter again, blur, radial blur, and move it a little bit to the left and experiment. So maybe around 10, 11. This is really cool. Then you can maybe, because it's a new layer, add a layer mask, and with regular soft round brush you can just remove the effect from some parts of the image like this. Yes, and this is an option too. Maybe this is too much, you can experiment with the blur amount, etc. So I'm just showing you some options that you can do to add that effect of the motions. But I will just stop without that. I will go to filter, Nik collection, camera raw, the filter that I really love to use, and I will just use some dynamic contrast, and probably this is it. So pro contrast, and then go to dynamic contrast, and this is really cool. Let me see. Press OK and wait for a few moments for Photoshop to apply this filter, and that's it. So before and after a little bit of color correction. Of course, you can go to any direction that you want, but this is like a final image. You can also go to my Instagram account and check my final version of this photo in case you're curious how I did the final color correction. Right guys, and that's basically it for this tutorial. I really hope that you like it and that you learn some new fun and useful tips and tricks, and that you can use them and apply them in your own work, in your own projects. In case you have any question regarding to this episode, please leave them down there in the comment section below. I will be glad to answer them. Also guys, if you appreciate this content, if you love this episode, just press the like button down below, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe in case you're not already. Also, make sure to ring that bell to be notified about all the future episodes. And also guys, if you want to help me to make this channel even bigger and better, you can do that by visiting my Patreon page. The link is down there in the description, and also you will get some things in return, for example this PSD file and all other PSD files, etc. So check it out if you're up to it. Right guys, have fun, experiment, and see you in my next fun episode. Bye bye.